It is time to combine the powers of Cherubimon to form the all-new Alliance Deck. Digimon fans, welcome back, and today we'll be showcasing the brand new Cherubimon, also known as the Alliance Deck. Alliance is a new mechanic introduced in the EX4 Alternative Being set, and the idea is to power up one of your Digimon by giving it an extra DP and security +1 by suspending a different one. This provides a unique approach for green decks to apply early game pressure, which it never had before. There are two new Cherubimon lines introduced, and they're designed to synergize with one another. I will also be showing you guys how the combos work, but first, let's take a look at the build we got today. Alright, like always, let's begin with Digi-8 cards. 4 Kokomons from EX4. This one has the inheritable. Your turn, once per turn, when an effect suspends one of your Digimon, you get to draw one card. And we do that a lot, especially with the Alliance mechanic, so this is the perfect egg that you really want to be running and consistently seeing all the time. And yeah, 4 copies is really all you need for it. Okay, now let's get into our rookies. First and foremost, we got 4 copies of the brand new Lotmon, which has the on-play effect being your searcher, revealing the top 4 cards of your deck, adding yourself a 1/2 color green card and 1 tamer card with Shu Chang Wang and its name among them to your hand, and then place the rest back into the bottom of your deck in any order. It also has the inheritable of your turn. When Alliance suspends one of your Digimon, this Digimon may Digivolve into a 2-color green Digimon card in your hand for the cost, and when it would be Digivolving via this effect, you get to reduce the cost by 2, which is really good for helping you turbo into your Digivoluceness deck. And yeah, just really nice with the whole Alliance synergy and one of the best searchers of the deck overall. Next up, we have also a Terriermon, which is also from EX4. They essentially does very similar things as Lotmon. This one on plays, revealing the top 4 card as well, adding 1 2-color green card and 1 tamer card with Henry Wrong in its name among them, and then placing back to the bottom of your deck. So essentially, I would say it does exactly the same thing for the entire deck, and with its inheritable, it's exactly the same as Lotmon as well. So really good searching with these guys with their on-play effects, and you definitely want to maximize 4 on both of because of how much value they provide you, especially in the early game. Then we still have more Terriermon related stuff. This time we have a Terriermon Assistant right here. Now, the first thing to note off for this particular Terriermon Assistant is that the name of this Digimon is also treated as Terriermon, so it's going to have a lot of synergy, really important for this deck overall. Your turn, when an effect suspends this Digimon, one of your Digimon gets extra 4,000 DP for the turn. Again, really great, especially when it comes to your Alliance, giving extra power, making sure you're beefing up your Alliance combos is always really great, and you do definitely want to see this as soon as possible usually. And with its inheritable is exactly the same as Lotmon and Terriermon, which we saw earlier, helping you climb your stack much faster and reducing costs. And yeah, these cards are just absolutely amazing, and you always want to be seeing them as much as you can when you're building your stack or playing them. With so many cool new cards that came out from the EX4 Alternative Being set, I just can't wait to build a ton of other new decks. And if you guys want to see more deck profile videos and guides for all of them, then be sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell right now. I have already posted a bunch of early lists and first drafts for the EX4 decks already on the Avault Club membership section. So if you guys want to see them right away, then be sure to join right now by clicking on the join button. Also, give this video a like while you're at it, and I greatly appreciate the support from all of you, so thank you guys so much. To round off for all the rookies, we are playing another 2 copies of the BT3 Terriermon, just a generic floodgate that we can have in the deck, which is going to be really important. And the reason why we're playing quite a bit of rookies in this deck in general is because we have ways to play them for free, and we do usually want to be playing them via those effects and comboing with our Henry Wong and Shu Chang Wang combos in general. So I would suggest like the 14 count is the minimum, but I know some of you guys might want to play 16 to increase the consistency and seeing that combo as much as you can. But for now, this works out for me very nicely. That's it for our level 3s. Let's talk about level 4s. Moving on, we have Cherubimon. So this is the first time where we're going to see Alliance as the keyword mechanic of this deck, and we're going to be seeing it a lot across all of our Digimon. So a lot of them moving from level 4 to 6s are going to have this Alliance keyword specifically, where it basically lets you that when this Digimon attacks by suspending one of your other Digimon, this Digimon gets to add the suspended Digimon's DP and also gain security +1 for the particular attack. And that's going to be super helpful, really, really good to help you beef up and give you that early game aggression. Now, first and foremost, you do see this Cherubimon, for example, does Digivolve for 3 costs on top of a yellow or green level 3 for 3, but all of them will have this specific black text box, letting you Digivolve for 2 normally to help you restrain inside the archetype only with a level 3 that is Lotmon or Terriermon in its name. So that's why you want to be playing Lotmons or Terriermon specifically usually in this particular build, so you can build your stacks much more effectively overall. It then has a inheritable of end of attack once per turn. If you have another suspended Digimon in play, you get to minus 2000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. So really, really nice. Minusing DP is definitely what yellow is best, and Cherubimon really helps out nicely with that. Next, we got the so-called like evil counterpart out per se. Right here, we got Wendigomon. Again, Digivolving for 3 normally, but you really just want to be thinking about Digivolving for 2 on top of Terriermon and Lotmon, or Lotmon essentially, Alliance as well. And for this one, with its inheritable, is end of attack once per turn. If you have another suspended Digimon, you get to return 1 green Digimon card from your trash back to your hand, and it can be any level essentially, which is going to be really good for recursion for you to make your plays over and over again. So yeah, definitely the secondary level 4 that you want to be seeing as often as you can as well. Next, we have Black Gargomon right here. Again, Digivolving for 3, but you would normally going to be Digivolving for 2 on top of Terriermon or Lotmon, Alliance once again, and then with its inheritable, your turn once per turn. When it affects suspends another Digimon, this Digimon gets extra 2000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn, which is really, really nice, so we can buff up your DP even more, make your stack a little bit stronger, so it can increase its survivability when it comes to battling as well. So yeah, the 2 of is really all you need. And then to round off for all of our level 4s, we definitely want to play one Arbomon, just one hybrid for game. It does happen. We do play quite a handful of tamers in this deck, and it does allow us to give that extra swing when we need to sneak in for that extra attack. So definitely one of at least is definitely what I recommend. Then let's move on to our level 5s. 4 copies of the Yellow Green Antilamon, Digivolving for 4 on top of a yellow or green level 4 Digimon. But specifically, you get to Digivolve for 3 on top of a level 4 Digimon with 2 colors, and at least one of them is green. So again, Alliance, it has a end of attack. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to recover 1. Recovering 1 is really, really nice. Sometimes you might be against some matchups that are really aggressive in the early stages of the game, and then you can quickly use this card to help you sort of sustain a little bit better with its end of attack, which is going to be really helpful. It has a inheritable as well, exactly just like Cherubimon. If you have another suspended Digimon in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP, so you can stack up a lot of these to reduce stuff. And yeah, very, very, very helpful and really good card. I kind of wish its inheritable was kind of like the same of its end of attack of recovering 1. That would be kind of a little bit nicer, but otherwise still a very powerful card indeed. And then moving on, we have the other Antilamon right here. Also from EX4, Digivolving for 4 on top of purple or green level 4. Once again, you're going to be Digivolving for 3 on top of your 2 color green Digimon, particularly Alliance. And this time, it has a normal effect of end of attack. It lets you play 1 green level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost, which is really nice because then you can search for more and then you can use those bodies for Alliance as well. And then it has the inheritable end of attack, which is exactly the same with Wendigomon, where if you have another suspended Digimon in play, return 1 green Digimon card from your trash back to your hand. So again, no level restriction with that, and you can basically recur your resources very nicely with this card. That's it for all of our level 5s. Let's talk about our level 6s, where let's showcase the so-called good guy Cherubimon first, where we have 3 copies of this particular one, the yellow and green one, Digivolving for 4 on top of a yellow or green level 5, but otherwise you Digivolve for 3 on top of a level 5 that is double color and it's green. Alliance, really nice. When Digivolving and when attacking, which is not once per turn, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP for the turn for each of your suspended Digimon. So that's going to be really good to help you, again, use DP reduction effects. You can rack up a lot throughout your entire Digivolution stack and basically get rid of something that's pretty big, generally with this guy. And that's really what he's there for. And yeah, really nice control when it comes to like taking things out on the board. Next, for the evil Cherubimon that we have right here. It's kind of dark for this card. You can't really see the artwork sometimes, I feel like, in certain angles. But yeah, Digivolving for 4 cost for purple level 5 or green level 5, but you normally ignore that once again in this deck. Digivolving for 3 on top of level 5, that is a 2 color with green. Alliance, once again, when Digivolving until the end of your opponent's turn. this Digimon and one of your other level 5 or lower Digimon gain on deletion, you may play this card without paying its memory cost. So a really great filling capability that comes back, which is going to be really nice. And then, so you don't have to be worried when it potentially get threatened or deleted. So you can come back and then again do a lot of combos with it overall. And that's really what he is there for generally. So that's it for our level 6s. Let's get into our level 7s, where of course we have Quartzmon right here. It definitely just makes sense to be playing this card just because it is a green deck after all. It can Digivolve on top of Cherubimons, both of them because they're green. And yeah, we know how powerful this card is. Really annoying to deal with, suspending everything, not letting stuff unsuspend, trashing security when it's attacking as well, suspending things down with 15k DP. Yeah, you guys know how powerful this card as a one-off for sure. And then another newer card right here, we have Shine Greymon Ruin Mode, which also is very nice for this deck because it can Digivolve on top of either Cherubimons, because it can Digivolve on top of purple or yellow level 6 for a 5 cost. We can't Digivolve it for 4 on top of Shine Grey because we don't play Shine Grey in this deck, but when Digivolving and on deletion, not once per turn, until end of your opponent's turn, blanket effect, all your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP. End of attack, it gets to delete itself, recover 1, delete your opponent's Digimon as well, hatch an egg, and sometimes really cool synergy with Cherubimon if you can ever pull it off all together with on deletion together, which rarely ever happens, but just a really nice clutch card. So I like to keep it to 1-1 for Quartzmon and Shine Greymon between the two at the moment, just for different situations and different matchups overall. That's it for all of our Digimon. Let's move into our Tamers, where first and foremost, let's showcase the main Tamer of this entire deck, which is very important to the core, and it really helps you turbo with all your combos, where we have Henry Wong and Shuchan Wong. Start a main phase. If you have one or fewer Digimon in play, you get to play one Terriermon or Lopmon from your hand for free. However, the Digimon that you play via this effect cannot Digivolve, and it is deleted at the end of your opponent's turn, which is kind of interesting, but it's really there to help you have a free body immediately so you can do your alliance combos. That's really what it's mainly there for. And then it also has a secondary effect, which I think is actually more important for this particular deck, is that your turn, when one of your Digimon with Terriermon or Lopmon in its Digivolution cards would Digivolve, by suspending them, you can reduce the cost by 1. So it's very, very nice and effective overall for this particular deck. And yeah, that's why you want to be seeing them as much as you can, because this helps you bring extra bodies once again to turbo into your alliance combos, which I'll talk more and show you guys how it works later on. And then for rounding off the Tamers, 2 Mimis right here. Memory Tamer, really crucial. We know how strong she really is usually. And when we have a level 5, we can suspend her to either hatch an egg or promote something up, which is going to be super helpful in many cases as well, and helps us turbo a little bit even faster for our combo plays if we need to do aggressive attacks. That's it for all of our Tamers. Let's talk about options. Very simple. 2 green memory boosts as a generic searching staple. Really great. Delay gaining extra memory. Very, very nice. And then to round it off, obviously, we have to play the one of HPD right here to help us even turbo even faster. So really standard when it comes to green staples with the options. And that's basically it. That's it for the 50 card main deck. Let's talk about some other cards that I actually considered, or you can potentially be adding it in to sort of like spice your deck up a little bit even more. The first one is actually the Rapidmon from BT8 right here. Really, really good card because you Digivolve for 3 on top of Terriermon. You do play quite a handful of Terriermons in this particular deck, and you do play quite a handful of Tamers, so you can suspend multiple things down. Minus 5k, Armor Purge is very, very nice and definitely considerable. I would suggest if you want to play this card, you can then take out Black Gargomon instead and juggle between your ratios on really what you personally prefer. But the only reason I don't play this particular card is simply because right now through playtesting, I just don't like the situations where sometimes I have a Lopmon and not a Terriermon, so I end up having to Digivolve for 4 instead. And yeah, I just rather build a stack and focus more on the alliance strategy. But overall, this is still a very good card that I would definitely be not opposed to adding in. Then for another level 5, other than just Antilomons, you can actually play this new Black Rapidmon. It has a lot of synergy with this deck essentially because although Digivolving for 4 cost on top of green or black level 4, you mainly can use this black text box to Digivolve for 3 with a Gargomon in its name or a 2-color green Digimon instead. And of course, it has Alliance, and this one has end of attack. It de-Digivolves 1 on your opponent's Digimon. So having a different sort of soft removal in this deck is kind of nice because de-Digivolving is very good against certain matchups. And it also has a your turn once per turn inheritable. When an effect suspends another Digimon, this Digimon gains piercing for the turn, so you can be a bit more aggressive. It helps you play it more, again, aggressively, so you can do security checks. You do often enough swing over a lot of your opponent's Digimon when it comes to like suspending and controlling the board, and being able to do damage at the same time is what gives you a lot of value in this deck. So definitely considerable as well if you want to sort of slot 1 or 2 in for sure. Then another suggestion is, other than just playing the Cherubimons, because there's a lot of synergy with the whole Terriermon line and the Gargo line, of course you can be playing Black Gargomon right here. Instead of Digivolving for 5, you get to Digivolve for 4 cost instead, on top of Rapidmon, or again, a 2-color green Digimon. And then it has a end of turn effect once per turn. 2 of your green and or black Digimon gain blocker and reboot, giving you a bit more defensive capabilities, which is really, really nice. It also has a secondary effect with all turns once per turn. When another Digimon becomes suspended, you can unsuspend this Digimon, so then you can like be a little bit aggressive again, make more checks. So very nice card, definitely for sure. And again, I would consider adding it as well if you want to juggle between yellow with 6s. Moving into some option cards, I think a really nice one is actually Calling from Darkness. Has a lot of synergy, mainly to do with your Cherubimon, because of its on deletion effect. You can delete it, play it back as well, which is kind of nice, and grab more pieces that you really, really want. I just feel like I don't really need it as much, just because Antilamon and Wendigomon give you a lot of resources generally to grab back like anything that's green anyways. Calling from the Darkness isn't as essential as it needs, because it can only grab you purple stuff in particular. So, but yeah, it's just a method that you can delete yourself if you ever really need to, or if you really want to, just to maximize off the effects with Cherubimon. And then last but not least, we do definitely have Cherubimon's like signature move with its option, 7 cost, Heaven's Judgment. While you have a green Digimon or Tamer in play, you get to use it without its meeting its color requirements. And its main, activate the effect below for each colored Digimon you have. Activate it again as well, which is the perfect synergy. First and foremost, minus 6,000 DP to one of your opponent's Digimon. And then for a Digimon that you have for every color, you get to do it again. So usually in this particular deck, you can do it 3 times. Minusing a total of 18k across the board is absolutely bonkers with even just 7 costs, and really, really strong again. And with its security effect, one of your opponent's Digimon just straight up gets minus 12k for the turn. And yeah, really, really great removal card. You guys notice that we don't really play any removal cards in this deck, so if you do want to slot in some like defensive options to, you know, change the tide of the game sometimes, this is definitely the one to go for 100%. That's it for all the cards I wanted to talk about for the deck. Now let's show you guys all the combos and how you want to be playing this deck, especially with the whole new Alliance mechanic and combos. Of course, you want to be hatching your egg, and ideally you always want to be digivolving into your Terriermons that have the inheritable. All of these guys giving that inheritable, helping you reduce costs, is really helping you turbo into your level 6s very effectively, very nice. These are basically almost like cards with like Digizorption built inside the archetype without having to Digizorb, which is really, really cool. The really nice thing is even with Terriermon Assistant, nowadays with this new effect where it's always also name treated as Terriermon is going to be really nice, but also synergizing with your level 4s really, really greatly, especially being Terriermon and Wendigomon, because they can Digivolve for 2 on top of Terriermon Assistant, because it just says Terriermon in name this time. So very, very effective, so you don't have to be paying 3 costs instead, but of course then you just Digivolve into one of these guys right here. Now what you really, really want to be seeing is optimally is your Henry Wong and Shuchuan Wong. Playing it as early as you can is going to be what helps you the most. And again, this is the reason why they being here inside the deck is why you want to be playing as many Terriermon or Lotmon rookies as you can, no matter how you're building effectively. Anyways, let's say you start your turn. It doesn't really matter what memory you're at. Let's just say you're at 1 anyways. You push this up immediately. Whether you have Terriermon or Wendigomon, you play these guys depending on what you need in a specific situation. If you want to be getting resources back, Wendigomon is the one to go. Otherwise, Terriermon is usually the better one, just because you can control the board at minus DP is always more effective, I think, in a general sense. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. So once you move this up at the start of your main phase, if you only have 1 or fewer Digimon, which you do right here, you can immediately then play any of these guys. 1 Terriermon, 1 Lotmon. Now, the only one thing I'm not entirely sure of and need help from you guys is if you can be playing this Terriermon Assistance, because these guys don't say they can play a Terriermon or Lotmon in its name. And even though that this card does say the name, this card is also treated as Terriermon, so I'm not entirely sure, because I feel like it has to be on the battle area. But if any of you guys are judges and can confirm the ruling, that would be really super helpful. But generally, anyways, you get to play your Terriermon, Lotmon, and you get to on play and search, and they will get deleted by the end of your opponent's turn, but that's not really a huge matter, because you want to be suspending these guys for your alliance. So immediately right here with Terriermon, you can just swing in and use the alliance capability to suspend them right here. And before you actually go for the attack, you get to draw a card with Kokomon and with Terriermon Assistance or any of the Terriermon Lotmon's effect. Now you can Digivolve into your level 5 just right here into Antilomons. And again, depending on what situation and what you have, that's what you want to be Digivolving into. If you need to recover, Antilomon would, the yellow one would be the one to go for. If you want recursion, the purple one is obviously again. Now, because you're going to be reducing the cost by 2, you effectively pay 1 memory, but with Henry Shuchong Wang, you can suspend it to reduce another one, so effectively Digivolving it for free. Now, Antilomon is going to become 9k because of Terriermon or Lotmon Assistant, and of course, in some situations, if you ever had a Terriermon Assistant there, you know, by suspending this one, you can gain even more DP because you can gain 1 and you gain 4 from its effect, gaining 5, making it essentially a level 6 13k, swinging in for 2 checks, which is really, really nice for that particular attack. So it's very nicely optimal when you do see Terriermon Assistant for that reason. And then once you do that, if you're low on security, you get to recover and attack minus DP as well. And you can just finish your turn off with whatever you like, whichever Cherubimon you want to be getting into. Very, very simple by paying the 3 cost because they're Digivolving on top of a double color green Digimon into this one to minus more DP if you need to. Otherwise, if you need more floating capability, this is the one you want to go into as well. So whichever you really need to. And the nicest thing with this deck is that you can very easily just build your Digivolution stack based on what you need, and everything just synergizes greatly with an entire deck, so you don't have to worry about it. You can Digivolve into any of these guys, and it gives you a lot of tools to really work with, and it's really just that simple overall. And of course, in some situations, you continue to float the board, and eventually you would go again, pass your turn back to whatever. You can then continue to swing, and they all have Alliance level 4 Digimon on top onwards, all the way level 6s. You can then suspend your own guys to give it even more beefed up effects. And eventually, when you need to face against specific matchups to establish a even stronger board presence or try to win harder or make a comeback, this is when you can play Quartzmon or Shine Gray Ruin mode, whichever, to Digivolve on top of them to give you that ultra value, which is going to be really nice. Let's just say this Cherubimon gets deleted for whatever reason, and it basically gets to come back, and it still has the Alliance as well, which is going to be really good. So then you can use that, you can swing, and then you can Digivolve into either or for whichever you need. The Quartzmon is also really nice because if it ever gets trashed for whatever reason and it ends up in your trash, as long as you have like the Antilomon or Wendigomon, if you have another end of attack, another suspended Digimon in play, you get to return 1 green Digimon card from your trash with no requirements. You can even grab this back, which is why playing 1 is not too bad at all. But of course, just looping back into consistency, you guys can decide whether you want to do 2 copies of a specific one or the other, again, which is why I like the versatility when it comes to these guys right here. So it's very, very simple. Eventually, you can be building like 2 stacks, and essentially, you can just continue to aggressively attack your opponent with extra security, lots of DP, really power, which really resembles a red deck, which is kind of nice, and control the board at the same time with minusing DP effects is always super good. And yeah, that's basically with Alliance. Very, very simple, and that's how you want to be generally playing this combos. That'll wrap up for our deck profile today. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. I got a new discussion series called Why Nobody Plays on the channel, which is incredibly popular at the moment. So go ahead and check out the first episode right now. Links will be left on the top right iCard and in the description box down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you next video, and this is Avault, signing out.